Hi everyone, welcome back to my vlog. I'm Robin, or A Hobbit's Reading List, and I accidentally hit a button on my camera and I don't know how to fix it, so if this looks bad, I'm very sorry. I will try to look at it tonight to make sure it's okay. Yeah. Other than that, I am ready to start my February TBR, and I also feel like I have a very busy week, which is typical, I think, now. So let's just get into it. So yesterday, I started listening to Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, which is a sapphic fantasy novel, and it follows Rhaena and Keith, who are in a sort of secret relationship and have been for 2 years. And Rhaena was a, like, part of the guard for this queen, but this queen was, like, kind of just horrible and didn't value the people guarding her life. And Rhaena, almost dies. And she just decided, she's like, you know what? I'm done. Like, Keith has been asking me to run away with her, and we're gonna do that. And so they're gonna run away and open a book and tea shop. And I think it just sounds really cute. It sounds like a nice mix of cozy and adventure. And yeah, so I listened to 2 chapters yesterday. Yeah. I started on the way back from class. I will listen to more today. But so far, I'm enjoying it. But I only listened to 2 chapters, so. Other than that, I read another chapter of literary theory. It was about kind of poetry. Like, it is about poetics versus rhetoric. So, yeah. I don't really know how to explain anything else. Theory is hard for me. But I think that's the only chapter I have to read this week for literary theory. So I did that. That's over now. That's about it. So that's pretty much all I read. I am hoping that I can read today, because I have some breaks in between meetings today, and I'm planning on starting Kissing Kosher. So we're officially starting the February TBR, and yeah, that's about it. So I will check in with you later. Hi everyone. So I am working from home again today because I have a very light day, and the weather is supposed to get like really icy later. But I have read some more. I listened to more of Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, and I'm enjoying it. I actually really like Rhaena and Keith, and I'm very interested in them and their, book/tea shop. It should be very cute. And I will be interested because I don't know how far I am in the book, because Audible is doing this thing where it's like making it very annoying to calculate my percentage. Because I originally, and I think up until like, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago or something, Audible, like, on the home screen, if you paused it, it would tell you how much you would listen to up until that point. And then I could just put that in Storygraph, and it would convert it to a percentage. It doesn't do that anymore. It does by chapter. It doesn't do the overall book. So I have no idea how far I am. I have like, I think 7.5 hours left, and it's like 11 hours. So I'm still at what I would consider the beginning. But I am enjoying it, and I'm kind of bummed that I didn't have to drive to work today, just because that would have meant listening to a little bit more. But it's okay. Otherwise, last night I also read, was it 11? Yeah, I read 11 chapters of Kissing Kosher, and I am enjoying it. I do enjoy Gene Meltzer's writing. I enjoyed the matzo ball more than I liked Mr. Perfect on Paper. And I think I will like Kissing Kosher more than Mr. Perfect on Paper. However, all of Gene Meltzer's books include a bit of an info dump in the beginning chapters, which I understand. It's important to the characters, but it's also like, I feel like this information could have been like sprinkled in a little bit more instead of like 2 solid paragraphs of like information about like either, you know, the female character's chronic pain or the male character's like family trauma. But it's fine. It's just like a writing quirk where I was like, But I'm enjoying it. I think that it is funny right now. It's very like, it's kind of an antagonistic interactions. I don't know. I guess technically it is enemies to lovers. So Kissing Kosher is about this kosher bakery in Brooklyn that Avital is like the main or the manager, and the shop needs more, you know, workers, and so she hires Ethan, who falsified his resume, and he is actually the grandson of this guy, Moishe, who owns this like big kosher bakery, like grocery supply thing. And Moshe and Avital's grandfather used to be like best friends. There was a huge falling out like 50 years before. So those 2 families are enemies. So Ethan is going into the kosher bakery to try to get their babka recipe and steal it and like reproduce it. And Avital has no idea. So I'll be but they both recognize that like they're very much each other's type and there's an attraction there, but they're both like, you know, keeping each other at arm's length. So I think it's been really fun. I'm hoping I can read more today since I do have such a light day at work. But yeah, that's that's about it. That's what I've read. So I will check in with another update soon. Good morning. So I believe I mentioned that I was going to have a very light day at work yesterday, which I did, and it was very nice. I'm trying to remember that like having a light day at work is not bad and I won't get in trouble because tomorrow I also have a very light day. But having such a light day at work meant that I was able to get some stuff done, check some things off my to-do list, and I was able to finish a book. So that was really nice. I finished reading Kissing Kosher because I had like 2-hour chunks, right, to like do stuff. And in one of the chunks, my spinning wheel told me to read. Siri told me to read like 13 chapters. And then by the time I finished that, I was like, well, I have like 30 more minutes before my next meeting. I was gonna keep reading. And so I did, and I'm like, well, and I had to stop at like a really intriguing part that I wanted to see what happened. And so I did do my homework last night after I finished work. And then I promptly picked up Kissing Kosher again. So I finished it at like 10:40, which is a little late for me. I'm trying to go to bed early since I have to wake up so much earlier now. But I just couldn't stop reading. Like, I would say Kissing Kosher is probably my favorite Gene Meltzer book so far. So it's like Kissing Kosher, The Matzo Ball, and then Mr. Perfect on Paper. Because I felt like this just made a lot more sense. Like, I know what I said yesterday about like the info dump, and like that was there, obviously. And that's not my favorite. But everything else, like the dynamic between Avital and Ethan, and then their own issues and how they handled them, I just like, I really, really liked it. It was really good, which is, that's really like nice because I like Jean Meltzer as a person. And so I'm like, I want to like her books. And so I felt really like disappointed when I didn't really like Mr. Perfect on paper. This was totally different. This was really great. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. And that's about it. I spent all day yesterday reading. Well, not all day, but like a good chunk of the day. So I have a fairly, I wouldn't say busy. I have just a different like errands I have to do. Like I have to go to class, and then I have to go to the bank, and then I have to call my dad, and then I have a hair appointment, and then I have personal training. So it's just like there's just a lot of stuff happening. But I do know that my next physical book is going to be Prayer for the Crown Shy, which is very short, so I should finish it today or tomorrow, depending on like when I get to read. So yeah, this week is shaping out to be awesome reading wise. I'm feeling great. And now I'm going to go to class and continue listening to Can't Spell Treason Without T. Good morning. I just remembered that I had an update, and I'm sitting in my car waiting for Stephanie so we can go to a book fair. But I figured instead of watching YouTube while I was waiting, I could film my update. So in the clips that came before this, I was at Panera because I had a very light day at work, and then I had like 3 hours to kill before I had to drive to Temple. So went to Panera, finished some work, did some homework, and then I continued reading A Prayer for the Crown Shy because I had read 2 chapters that morning before I left for work. And this morning I finished it. So A Prayer for the Crown Shy is the second book in the Monk and Robot duology by Becky Chambers. And it is about this monk who is on the planet Panga, and in the first book they are going out to the villages outside the city and providing like a tea service, which is like a fairly like spiritual connecting service. It sounds very lovely, honestly. But they do that, and they decide to go into this area that's like a wilderness area in search for this one like monastery that isn't used anymore. And on their way they end up meeting a robot. Now, robots in this world had previously been very popular, but the robots had sentience, and they left because they felt that they were being abused and taken advantage of, and that they weren't actually helping humanity. Like, they were doing their tasks, but they weren't helping. And so they all left. And humans, figured things out without the robots. They adapted, as humans do. And so for sibling Dex, this monk, to find a robot was incredible. This robot, Mosscap, has been tasked from the other robots to go into humanity and see how they're doing without the robots, and to ask them, what do they need? Which is a very broad question. And so I'm sorry I keep switching hands. My hands keep getting tired.
And so sibling Dex and Mosscap travel together to try to answer this question of what do humans need. And it's very it's very cozy, has a lot of funny moments, but it's also very thought-provoking and poignant. And I don't remember what I gave the first book in the duology, but and I'm pretty sure it was high, but I gave A Prayer for the Crown Shy a 5-star because I loved it. It was just it was great. I highly recommend everyone read this series because it's very quick. Like each book is like 150 pages, but it packs a punch. So it's very good. I very much enjoyed it. Other than that, I listened to more of Can't Spell Treason Without T. I'm also enjoying that. It's a lot more adventurous. There's a little bit of a mystery going on that I'm very intrigued by. I think I have like 3 hours left, so I might finish it tomorrow. I'm not positive. But I can't really get into that one much anymore because anything will be spoilers. So, yeah. I had a really good reading day yesterday. I also read another chapter of Internal Family Systems. I'm almost done with it. And yeah, now I'm just waiting for Stephanie and we're going to go to a book fair. So I will check in with you later.
Hi everyone, I'm going to make this really quick because I have 1 bar of battery left and I have to go to class. I finished listening to Can't Spell Treason Without T last night. I really enjoyed it. It was a perfect cozy fantasy. The only issues I had were like very minor, like word choice stuff, so it wasn't like hugely important. So I really enjoyed it. I added the sequel to my wish list to remind me to get it at some point. And I gave it 4.5 stars. So I thought it was really great. Can't wait to continue the series. Last night was also the Super Bowl, so we went over to a friend's house. I don't like football that much, so I read through most of it. I started reading the Ballad of Jacquotte Delahaye, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing wrong, very sorry about that, which is about this woman who becomes a pirate, sort of just out of happenstance. But I read about 1/3 of it last night. It is very good. It's very engaging. I couldn't help but get sucked into it. And I will talk more about it in next week's vlog. But as I said, I do have to sort of wrap this up. So yeah, overall yesterday was a great reading day for how like kind of busy it was. And I'm very happy with my progress this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe, click notification bell, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.